What's up, guys? Welcome to our Real Football Talk podcast. I'm G, and I'm the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sign Tebow, for God's sakes. I'm DT, ready to suck again.
I'm David, and it's way past my bedtime.
So let's get to it. Hit me up with that intro! Now let's get to it. So we're going to talk about the college football games and what we saw in all the blowouts. So what did you guys think of this week in college football? How did you guys think of these games?
I thought this week was just terrible. I mean, what kind of games? I mean, Louisville just totally just trance, man. 77-0. Jeez.
That was 77. Then there were 77-7 Miami. And what were you saying, DT?
This game is pretty much free spaces. Everybody that should have won. Not much more than that. Michigan struggled again. That's about all that happened.
Right. So let's get that out of the way. But Darius wants to put in. Darius, do you think your team is better now that your favorite quarterback in Florida history has broken his leg?
First of all, Tim Tebow is the greatest of all time. Josh Driscoll going down actually improves this Florida defense tremendously.
Their defense.
Offense, it's late. It's late. Okay.
It's early, bro, not late.
Eric Murphy comes in, takes the team that was down 7-0, puts up 31 points. Great job. This Florida offense is going places.
Is Eric Murphy or Tyler Murphy?
Tyler Murphy.
Don't worry, guys. It's early. Mistakes are fine. All right. Now that college is over with, I mean, what else can you say about blowout games? They won by a lot of points. End of story.
Terrible.
Now let's get into the NFL. What we saw. Let's go with what is the most talked about game you guys want to talk about? You want to go with Texans Ravens, or do you want to go with
Let's talk about Peyton Manning, setting even more records tonight.
Let's talk about the Texan fans and how terrible they are.
Oh man. Okay, you know what? How about this? Let's start this off. Let's rate the top 5 worst fan bases in the NFL right now.
Okay.
Top five. What's number 5?
Number 5.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
The Eagles?
Yes.
Eagles will be number 1.
Yeah, they did move Santa Claus. I mean,
no, number 1 is easy. That's the Jacksonville Jaguar fans because they have no fans.
because they're in a freaking retirement community.
That
Just
is
like
true.
The Tampa Bay Rays.
Man,
So
oh man.
number 1, we got the Jaguars. Number 2,
Number 1 is the Texans.
No, number 2 has to be the Texans.
the Texans actually sell out games. Oakland Raiders and the Jaguars have blackouts week in and week out.
Well, technically, the Raider fans are still there. Is the reason why they're called blackouts. They blend into the arena. That's why.
And they play the baseball field. I mean, jeez.
Okay, how more classical can you get? So let me
Excellence, right?
commit to excellence, my friends. Commit to excellence,
Just lose, baby.
Rest in peace.
please. Please.
Poor old Al's probably turning over in his grave right now.
Yeah, last thing he needs is two Broncos and a Raiders fan doing a podcast together. That's something, ain't it?
That's a commitment to excellence, dude.
I'm committed. I'm committed, my friend.
R.I.P. Al Davis. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Well, now that we're done with this fan base of almost terrible fan bases. I mean,
Even rated 5.
I don't care if we didn't rate 5 of them. To me, here's the 5 of them. Number 1 is the Eagles. Number 2 is Jacksonville. They don't even have fans. Number 3, probably the Raiders. Number 4, probably the Texans. And number 5, pick a team, guys.
I'm going to have to go with the Giants, New York Giants. The New York fan base, period, besides the Bills, New York Jets and New York Giants.
Yeah, the Bills are probably the most calm ones. At least they understand when they suck.
Oh.
Yeah, because they can't move because they're all frozen all the time.
Man, how do you think as a fan base is to go to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row and lose worse and worse and worse and worse?
The Broncos, they lost 3 Super Bowls in a row. You don't see them complaining.
I know, but I mean, like, as a fan, how would that make you feel? You get to the big game, you just can't win the big game.
Well, it all starts with a name. I mean, the Buffalo Bills. Like, why the hell is your name the Buffalo Bills?
I mean, what is a bill?
What is a bill? Like
a duck bill? Like a duck bill? Like that?
Yeah, but your mascot's a buffalo. Like,
and we call it the bill.
I think Bills means multiple buffaloes. I think that's what it means. I think a bill is a different word for buffalo. I think they should be called the Buffalo Jim Kellys.
Yeah, because you couldn't be, the Buffalo Buffaloes. That'd just be messed up.
They should be the Buffalo Wings.
I could have been the New Jersey. They could have been the New Jersey Buffaloes.
Well, actually, first of all, their stadium, I think, is actually based in New York, not like New York Jets and the Giants. They're actually in New Jersey. They should be called themselves They should have it in Jersey Shore. I think that would be an awesome show.
They should move it. No, never mind. The Raiders should move them to Los Angeles. I was about to make that mistake.
Well, but let me tell you this: why LA will not have a team. Nobody will go to the game. I promise you. Am I kidding you? No, that's what happened before. That's why LA never has a team. Nobody would go to the game.
No, they started sucking, so they moved to Oakland. That's what happened.
LA Raiders actually won a Super Bowl, first of all.
Yeah, but then
nobody goes to the game in LA. Nobody in LA will go to a football game. They have better things to do on a Sunday night or a Sunday day in all to be at a football game in LA. They'd rather either be like what? Okay, I gotta go produce a movie. I gotta go snort my Hollywood cocaine, allegedly. I gotta go sell my drugs on the street, or I gotta. Allegedly, or gonna do any of those stuff. Trust me, LA people, they don't need time to go to a football game. Trust me, they ain't got time for that to go to a football game. It won't happen. So, but okay. Put it this way, it just won't happen. And if a team were to move, I think the Raiders are fine in Oakland. But if a team would move back to LA, it might as well be the Vikings as long as you get rid of Ponder.
Why the Vikings? That's like a completely...
Okay, let me give you three teams. Three teams already said they were going to move. The Buffalo Bills, the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the Vikings. Which team would you rather have in L.A.?
Would I rather have?
I'm going to try to have the Rams back in L.A.
No, St. Louis Rams is already established really good at St. Louis.
No, not really.
Compared to the Vikings franchise?
They'll be 1-3 pretty soon after they get... whooped by San Fran on Thursday night.
I don't know. I have that game questionable, to be honest. I think San Francisco's overrated, but I don't know about how much.
I think they step it up again. They're tired of getting whooped, dominated like they've been getting.
Not really. I mean, didn't they get dominated? In past two games? Well, I mean, yeah, the Seattle Seahawks did punch them in the mouth.
It's not happening 3 games in a row. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah. But regardless, going back to my question, what team would you rather have in LA? The Vikings, the Bills, or the Jaguars?
Jaguars.
In LA.
I mean, the Jaguars are going to move somewhere anyways because, like I said, it's just they're in a retirement community. Anywhere they're going to go, they're going to get more fans. Even if they went to Alaska, they get more fans. There'd be Eskimos and igloos watching them play football because old people just don't like football anymore, I guess. They like old TV and The Price is Right. So
they should do that. They should actually put like a Wheel of Fortune in the middle of the at halftime. Have a big old Wheel of Fortune game in the middle of the halftime.
It's signed Tim Tebow just to get the circus started.
Well, I am the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, allegedly, so...
I'm pretty sure it doesn't cost that much. Go ahead and sign him. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
They win a game.
Exactly.
Yeah, what did he do? Like spend like $15 to buy the team or something like that? It was like $15.
Well, actually, the reason why I bought the Jacksonville Jaguars, they were actually selling for about $5. They were selling the team for about $5.
Really?
Yeah, and Mr. Khan actually outbid me, and he said I'm gonna drop $5 billion on this team, and I said $5 billion on that franchise. Wow. Okay.
So he overpaid pretty much.
I mean, listen, he pays $5 billion. I pay $5. I pay for what the team's worth, dude.
We're spending too much time talking about Jacksonville.
Oh, man. Let's go on to the next favorite subject of the time. The Browns actually beat a team. This Browns without Trent Richardson, and they win with Jordan Cameron. I believe his name, and they beat him. What was it, 31-27 was the final score?
Yeah.
So let's ponder on this. Excuse my pun, but Christian Ponder, do you think his time is up, guys?
I think Christian Ponder still has, I think he still has a few more weeks, to prove himself that he can start in this league. He actually made a lot of plays in that last game. The Cleveland Browns just happened to make a little bit more.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as Ponder's concerned, you can't really. Ponder is Christian Ponder. I mean, he was overdrafted. He's soft. He's small. He doesn't know how to throw to receivers. I mean, he's got freaking Greg Jennings, Kyle Rudolph,
Cordell Patterson, and Jerome Simpson.
Jerome Simpson.
So who else is going to start?
Matt Castle. They got Matt Castle as a backup.
Matt Castle scored a touchdown in Kansas City.
Brady 2.0.
But yeah, that's true. So whose hot seat is hotter, Christian Ponder's or Mac Brown's?
Mac Brown. Mac Brown can't lose another game. If he loses one more game, it's over. It's done. They're not winning the Big 12.
What about you, David? Who do you think hot seat is hotter, Christian Ponder's or
Ponder? I mean, this is his third year in the league, second year, third year in the league.
I think it's his fourth.
What has Jake Locker done?
But Jake Locker is his team's at least won.
At least they're 2-1, right? The Tennessee Titans are 2-1.
Yeah, they're not going to the playoffs.
Hey, wait! They could make it as a wild card team now. Don't you think the Texans are going to win?
The Vikings are going to make the playoffs either. I mean,
okay, so
and plus Jake Locker doesn't have anywhere near the type of weapons that.
I don't know. I just feel like David does have a point. You have the best running back in the field right now in the NFL. You got Greg Jennings, you got Jerome Simpson, you got Cordell Patterson.
Guess what? So you compare him with Mac Brown, who's on a hot seat. Okay, Mac Brown hasn't been to the national championship in 5 years. He's had top 5 recruiting classes each of the past 5 years. What has he done with it?
Well, I mean, let me tell you this, DT. I agree with you that Mac Brown he needs to get gone now. I don't like Matt Brown with the crap. And I'm just comparing these two because these two I think both of these two, player and coach, their leashes are short. I'm talking about, I give Christian Ponder a little bit more leniency. Like, if Christian Ponder loses 3 more games, done. Matt Castle goes in. You can't do any worse than this team.
I mean, look at his defense, by the way. Christian Ponder, I mean, it doesn't matter how many points he scores. The other team is just going to score more. This defense gives up 30-something points a game.
Yeah, I don't know any cornerbacks on that team besides Xavier Rhodes, the rookie they drafted. I don't know any corners at all, and especially in the division. Especially in the division they play, that's very good wide receivers. This is. I feel bad for this Vikings team, to be honest. They may just lose every game in their division, every game.
I like to see Adrian Peterson on another football team. He's not winning the championship with the Vikings.
So
I'd like to see Adrian Peterson shut up his mouth and run the football instead of talking about how he's going to be beating all these records, and the dude can't even produce right now.
He can't even run for 100 yards right now.
Well,
it's ridiculous, man. I mean, I just don't understand him.
All right, let's go to the next game on hand. We're going to talk about this wonderful game.
Oh, God.
Tell me, can the Texans make it to the Super Bowl with Matt Schaub?
No, they can't make it to the
Texans can't even make the playoffs with Matt Schaub at quarterback this year.
I think they make the playoffs, maybe a wild card, but I don't know. Matt Schaub is just a whole different kind of breed of useless quarterbacks in the league. Like I said, how does Gary Kubiak have a Denny's menu for a playbook, but all he orders is the same thing? I want a $2 pancakes. That's it. He doesn't change it up. He doesn't get the Grand Slam. He doesn't get the nachos or anything like that. Doesn't get creative anything at all. He doesn't ask for a sundae when he's done. All he does is ask for the $2 pancakes. Oh man, I'm hungry for a win for the Texans, but I'm not even.
It's because Gary Kubiak sat behind John Elway his whole career. I mean, that's the reason why he can't coach, because he's just sitting there and he looks on the field and he basically wishes he played right now. That's why he's always calling the same play.
You bring up a good point. Gary Kubiak was number 8. He was a backup quarterback for the Broncos. Maybe he's rooting for Matt Schaub to be great, but it's just not happening. The guy's soft.
So you think Matt Schaub is what Gary Kubiak would be on the field?
Yeah, I
think that Kubiak's trying to live his life through Schaub, basically.
Like a father living his life through a son kind of situation.
I swear to God, if Matt Schaub becomes a head coach,
no, nobody's gonna ask him to be a head coach. Not his look in his face. Have you seen that face of his? That ain't no panty dropper. I'll tell you that much. Not those eyes.
Hey, I mean, Matt Schaub did get half of his ear torn off by Von Miller last year, so.
I think that was Mays.
Joe
Mays.
That's right.
He didn't travel with ear. Matt Schaub actually showed his ear to NFL Network the next morning. It was perfectly intact.
And of course, Joe Mays got fined because you can't hit anybody in the NFL anymore.
Hey, if you lay about a finger clipping on a quarterback this year in the NFL, it's a 15-yard gain. You're the team, you lose $10 million in equity. Your house goes for sale. For some reason, gas prices go up also. Like, it's unbelievable if you touch a quarterback these days in the NFL.
I'm so shocked Wesley Williams didn't get penalized for hitting Terrell Pryor.
Oh, I bet you $10 there's going to be a fine. You want to do it? You want to bet how much?
No, I'm good. No, I'm not a gambler, man. But if you would have bet me the Broncos won tonight, oh, yes, I'm all in.
You would have, of course, I would have been on the same boat as you. You kidding me? To me, it was more like if anybody does gamble, if anything, you were going to see how much the Broncos were going to take the points. Are you going to take the 20-point spread? And let me tell you, the Raiders just ruined that for gambling tonight because I would have had the Broncos winning by 63-7 at that. But my favorite part of this game was the fact that Peyton Manning did not let Brock Osweiler get on the field. I loved it.
Peyton Manning, 12 touchdown passes to 3 games, most in NFL history.
Yeah,
another record going down.
Yeah, Mr. Greatest of all time, Tom Brady, broke his record.
Oh, yeah, greatest of all time.
Not the greatest.
Tom Brady has his receiving core. He probably has 16 touchdown passes right now.
Tom Brady has his receiving core. He wouldn't be screaming at his receiving core at the Jets game.
Yeah, and you know what? They're still 3-0 with the receiving core if he has.
Well, besides the point, you guys watched this game more intensely than I did. How did the left tackle look for the Broncos?
Yeah, besides one play against Lamar Houston, he was actually pretty good. Had a one holding call. Yeah, he held his ground.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna do all right. I mean he's not gonna be Ryan Clady like, but he's gonna do all right.
All right, I just want
Peyton Manning might get hit a few extra times, but I mean it's all good.
You know something that's crazy is I saw multiple times that Mike Jenkins hit Wes Welker and was talking crap to Wes Welker, and Wes Welker didn't even act like he noticed it was there. He just kept looking at the football.
Well, Darius brings up a good point. I saw that Wes Welker is a robot. All he does is run a route, catch a ball, run a route, catch a ball, run a route, catch a ball, run a route, touchdown, catch the ball.
You see how he talks in the interviews. I mean, it's just like
he's a pest.
Yeah, and we scored touchdowns, and we did great, and yes, thank you.
And he's also, he likes Old Spice. He's an Old Spice man.
Yeah, those commercials are so stupid.
But besides the point,
it's good to see Wes Welker actually having fun. During his football career, New England, Belichick pretty much hides all his players away from the media.
Yeah, that is true. He doesn't.
Well, the Golden Boy.
Oh man. Okay. Anyways, besides this Broncos and Raiders game, let's go to some other games. Eli was a no-show to the Carolina game. He actually wasn't at the game at all.
Was a no-show.
Man, what went wrong, guys? Please, somebody tell me.
Everything.
The fact that Eli Manning is a Manning is the reason why it goes so wrong, because he thinks he has to live up to all the potential and all the pressure because his dad and his older brother.
Well, I mean, he does have the more Super Bowls than both of them combined.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like Eli Manning is. I think him and Phillip Rivers are in the same boat.
Whoa.
Well,
I don't know about that. Phillip Rivers. Let me tell you something about.
He has more Super Bowls than Dan Marino and countless other Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Every once in a while, you're going to have, the entire team as a whole is going to have one of those games where everything is just going wrong. And it just happened to get very bad against the Panthers.
A very weak Panther team.
Denver too.
But they scored a point against Denver.
I think
Denver can do this to anybody. They can do this to any and everybody they play, as long as they don't stop Peyton Manning in his offense.
And as long as Demaryius Thomas doesn't break his leg either.
Well, I mean, let me just bring this point up. Every team that's hosted the Super Bowl since the Super Bowl era has been terrible. And even though Darius does bring up a point that the game is in New Jersey, not New York, so why would the New York teams? Well, both the New York teams play there. So all in all, no 0-3 team wins the Super Bowl. And
the Giants are the first to do a lot of stuff. I think they're gonna be. I think you can't count this team out. I believe they're gonna make a playoff push at the end, like they always do. They do it. They didn't quite get it done last year, but you never know with this team.
So right now the Giants and the Redskins are living up to very disappointing seasons. The Redskins go 0-3, and everybody's saying RG3 more like RG 0-3. Now the fact that RG3 is 0-3. What do you see? What's wrong with this team? Anybody? What's wrong with this Redskins team? Why are they not living up to being the best team as they said they were?
Because Robert Griffin III isn't ready completely.
Do you think that
RG3 is, in my opinion, one of the most overrated quarterbacks in the league? I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing most of the time. The only reason why he's as good as he is, I think, is because Mike Shanahan knows how to run an offense.
You don't put up you don't put up a 100.4 quarterback rating because of your coach calling plays. I mean, you have to actually execute those plays. A lot of what he did, he improvised. The guy's a beast out there. The guy's a beast. He's coming back from a major surgery. Got his knee torn up. He's playing scared out there pretty much.
Adrian Peterson has had the same injury, worse, and came back.
Adrian Peterson is a running back. All he has to do is take a handoff and just run with the football.
RG3 is a quarterback. All he should be doing is throwing the football.
He has to lead the team, and then also have to worry about re-injuring that knee, which gave him problems in college, I believe. I mean, RG3 played injury.
So you think? Do you think RG3 is injury prone?
I think RG3 lives with the pressure of getting hurt again. So he's going out there trying to be perfect, make sure he doesn't get hit, and that's really affecting him.
So he's scared. You think he's playing scared?
He's an overrated yuppie.
You know what? Rodgers Harrison, same thing. Rodgers Harrison came back from the same type of surgery. He said every single game he played scared as hell that he was going to get hurt again.
So how long do you think it takes RG3 to not get scared?
I think by next year.
By next year?
By next year he'll be back.
Well, remember, guys, the Redskins do not have a first-round pick in this draft.
Maybe even late in the season, I think RG3. I think they put together a streak of wins. And,
well, I mean, let's give credit where credit is due. This Redskins defense is not living up to what me and you, DT, praised it to be. They're very terrible. They're the worst defense right now in the league.
I mean, London Fletcher, that's about it.
I mean, Brian Arakpo, Ryan Kerrigan, they have a mean-ass pass rush.
I mean, that's the only old player, London Fletcher. I mean, they got a good pass rush. D'Angelo Hall is one of the most overrated corners I've ever seen.
They are playing two rookies on their DB crew. They are playing two rookies.
In experience. I mean, you see what they did with the Texans. You see what happened to the Texans a few years back. Kareem Jackson giving up all kind of big numbers to everybody.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
That's another freaking thing I hate is how bad when Kareem Jackson was drafted and he played terrible his first couple of years. All the Texan fans were all over about how he's terrible, and now that he had a decent season, they're all, he's such a great defensive back.
I mean, let me just put it this way: the Texans fans, I was there at that draft party when J.J. Watt was drafted. I don't have to say this again. I probably already said this before in the podcast. They booed the pick. They didn't know who J.J. Watt was.
It's an average NFL fan. They hear somebody drafted that they haven't really heard about, some low key player they haven't really heard much about. They're gonna boo, like Donovan McNabb. I mean, Philly fans, they boo him what he does.
Philly fans boo anybody. Philly fans boo anybody.
Texas fans boo Mario Williams. I mean, come on now.
Because they wanted Vince Young.
80% of NFL fans are all stupid.
So what are we? Are we we're like what?
The 20% of Bronco fans, we're the only ones with some sense.
Yeah.
So you've never met a stupid Broncos fan?
Nope.
Me neither.
Never.
Well, at least you guys are running a good program over there. I give it that to y'all. I'm glad you guys got Mr. John Elway. I'm glad he studied business so that way he knows how to run a good franchise over there. But that's besides the point. Now let's go to the Saints and Arizona game, and somebody lost a finger in this game. If you guys did not heard, Rashard Johnson tackles somebody, takes off his glove at the end of the game, and his finger is in his glove.
He got it reattached. He got it reattached.
He didn't get it reattached. They sawed off his whole middle finger. That's what happened.
He got it attached. I read this morning.
No, it did not. He just came out the end of this day. They sawed off the rest of his finger. He does not have a middle finger.
Finger reattached.
Regardless of the point that he got his middle finger he doesn't have a middle finger anymore. He can't flick people off. Wonderful thing for the Arizona Cardinals. Didn't they win this game, or did they lose against the Saints?
They got shredded by Drew Brees.
All right.
He even ran for a touchdown.
Oh, man. Well, let's go to, speaking of quarterbacks running in for a touchdown, let's go to the Colts and 49ers game. Okay, guys. Trent Richardson makes his debut. First play of the game, he gets a running touchdown, but that's besides the point. This Colts team ran all over the 49ers, and they out-49ered the 49ers, if that makes any sense. The 49ers defense looks a lot softer, but Patrick Willis went out in the first quarter, and he is out for next game also.
Oh, wow.
And do you think that's a big loss for them?
I think NaVorro Bowman is just as good as Patrick Willis, but, anytime you lose an impact player, yes, it's pretty big for you.
Especially with 3-4 defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their backup linebacker isn't, I don't even know who it is. But Alden Smith also, he's going to be out for a month. He's going to rehab with Amy Winehouse, and it's not looking pretty. It's not looking pretty for these 49ers. It's not.
R.I.P. Amy Winehouse.
Yep. But regardless, the fact is, this 49ers team is looking very overrated across a lot of people's faces.
Oh, yeah.
What do you guys think about Colin Kaepernick? I think he had a good year last year because not a lot of people knew about him in the NFL. And as you guys know that in the NFL, when something new happens in the NFL, it takes the world by storm. Cam Newton did that. And then look what happened to him the year after that. That's what I think is happening with Colin Kaepernick.
RG3.
Wow, okay.
RG3 had a 100.4 quarterback rating.
Okay, quarterback rating is whatever, dude. That's just numbers.
This is clearly him not having any kind of work put in the offseason, as well as, this injury. I think he's scared playing with the injury, afraid to get hurt, trying to be too perfect, trying to make plays without getting hit. It all comes together.
It's the second coming of Vince Young.
Okay. Vince Young didn't have a great rookie season. He didn't even make the playoffs his rookie season. This guy, RG3, won the NFC East.
Well, the NFC East can be won by anybody, Darius, and
but it just so happened to be RG3 who took the Redskins. And,
let's be honest. Kirk Cousins could take that team farther right now than RG3 can.
Not necessarily. I don't think Kirk Cousins puts up 30 points a game to match his defense.
I don't know. If I was Mike Shanahan, I'll put in Kirk Cousins, but that's besides the point. We were talking about the 49ers, and I think Colin Kaepernick has been found out by the NFL. I think a lot of teams know how to play against him now. Do you guys feel that way? You think Colin Kaepernick defenses know what he's about now?
Brandon Davis didn't play this past. Brandon Davis didn't play. Anquan Bolden, you lock him down. Who else do they have? They have no weapons. You think about all they have is a run game. You got to get the run game started if you want to pass the football. They don't really have much of a passing game right now.
I really did not like. I like Anquan Bolden as a receiver, but that's a big drop off from what Michael Crabtree can bring to you on the field.
Oh yeah, not much of a drop off.
I think yes, there is because Anquan Bolden he's a possession receiver. Michael Crabtree could do a lot more than Anquan Bolden can.
For 200 yards, you don't just throw 13 passes, 200 yards to a possession receiver. The guy's a beast. You throw it up, he comes down with it. Michael Crabtree has to be on the money if you want him to make the play.
But okay, well he's faster than Anquan Bolden. He's a lot more threat than Anquan Bolden is.
He really isn't. You see Anquan Bolden in the Super Bowl last year, playoffs last year, period. The guy literally took over.
Okay, well I seen him play against the Seahawks. He only has one catch for 7 yards.
I didn't see Crabtree do much of anything, in the playoffs. He probably had 1 or 2 touchdowns the whole postseason. I didn't even see him do much in the Super Bowl either. So
Well, like I still think Michael Crabtree's a better receiver than Anquan Bolden. Though Anquan Bolden can't take a hit to the face. I know that.
Oh, God. He can take it anywhere.
Except from Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman knows how to lock him down.
Yeah, but if your quarterback doesn't throw Richard Sherman's way except for one time a game, I mean, what do you expect? You give him two chances to make a catch. He makes one of them. I mean, you can't really do much if your quarterback isn't looking for you.
Well, that's besides the point. Well, let's go to my team, the team that I own against the Seahawks. And Darius, you said that my team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, were going to upset the Seahawks. What were you thinking, to say the least?
I wasn't thinking. I'm pretty sure it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. You know, I was half asleep. That's what it was.
If you're going to blame it on because you can't think straight in the morning, I think that's a very sorry excuse. Because let me tell you this, Farmer Fran would have called the Seattle Seahawks. Farmer Fran is a very good friend of ours, and he can call a good game, even though he got the Eagles winning 56 by 2.5.
Even though you had the Rams slaughtering the Cowgirls, I mean.
I didn't have them slaughtering. I said 27-24.
Well,
let me put it this way: if the Rams in the Cowboys game is not that bad of a game compared to the Seahawks and Jaguars, that's like the number 2 team against the worst team.
It's just like how you picked Kentucky over Louisville.
You know, Kentucky actually had a chance. They actually gave Louisville a run for their money. Louisville won by 14 points. 14 points. Kentucky turned the ball over I don't know how many times in the red zone. Teddy Bridgewater didn't do much of anything against the defense.
Hey,
that was pretty close. It was pretty close.
I'm going to quote the great Vin Diesel here. It doesn't matter if you win by a mile or if you win by an inch. Winning's winning.
Well,
it was close enough.
All you got to do is win, man. Winning is better than any statistic there is in the NFL. That's what keeps coaches have a coaching job, and that's what quarterbacks still have a job. That's why I don't understand why Christian Bonder has a job. He does not win games, really.
Because they're still pondering the pick.
They like to ponder on
they have no defense as well. I mean, Jared Allen and who else? That's it.
I mean, I could name the other players, but I mean,
Jared Allen, Chad Greenway. I'm not sure the Kevin Williams. I'm not sure if that's still.
Kevin Williams still plays, yes.
Well, he is. Brian. I mean, come on now.
Desmond Bishop's on that team, but he got cut by the Packers.
Since he's a Packer, he's been irrelevant since he left the Packers.
He's been irrelevant since he's played football.
Wow.
He did pretty good with the Packers.
But that's besides the point. You got any other games you guys want to?
How many times are you going to say it's beside the point?
Because it is.
It's besides the point for like 6-7 times a show.
Well, you know what? It's besides the point that you brought that up. Now let's go into another game. Now we have seen there's I told you Packers and Bengals. That's what you want to go with?
You tell me about them.
Well, I was about to tell you how much I do not like the Steelers, and I think how you spell pitiful with P-I-T, and so do you spell Pittsburgh with that. But yeah, I'll talk about the Packers.
Tell me, what do you think of Aaron Rodgers' performance against his Bengals secondary?
Mediocre.
Mediocre. That's it.
Mediocre and terrible for a quarterback that has been an MVP quarterback, that's been a Super Bowl MVP, who was regarded as one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the league, and he shows up and passes for less than 200 yards or barely 200 yards in this game.
D-Flow, how about this Bengals defense, man? What you think about this defense?
I think the Bengals are one of the most underrated teams in the league. I mean, I just don't understand. They obviously know what they're doing because they shut down Aaron Rodgers pretty well. But
I'm not.
If they can shut down Peyton Manning.
No, I think now that they lost Ryan Clady, I think this Bengals defensive line is a little bit scared. But Peyton Manning has never had a good offensive line ever, so he still shreds this Bengals defense.
I mean. Nobody can stop Peyton right now. I mean, Peyton is doing his thing. I mean, 12 touchdowns against 0 interceptions. I mean, he's pretty much blew every single team out of the water. He's basically ran every defense into the ground. And it's just, I don't see any defense except for Seattle. I only think Seattle could stop Peyton. And I don't even think Seattle could stop Peyton. I think they could just barely slow him down.
And the only way they meet is in the Super Bowl, by the way.
They don't play at all, right? They don't play at all this year?
Nope. We play the NFC East this year.
All right, well, let's go. Anybody want to talk more about the Bengals and the Green Bay game? Or is that all? Darius, you got anything?
Overrated.
I think the Packers are actually trying to run a game now. You can pick from either Jonathan Franklin or Eddie Lacy. Or James Starks. I think they actually found a running game now.
I still don't like their defense. If they're going to want to do anything this year, their defense has to improve. I mean, Aaron Rodgers can go and their whole offense can go and put up 31 points, and their defense can't hold it. I mean,
that's how they win games. That's how they've been winning games ever since after the Super Bowl. Even going to the Super Bowl run, I never did like their defense. I hate AJ Hawk is super overrated. I can't believe they got Desmond Bishop. I think Desmond Bishop is better than AJ Hawk, but they just need to fix their cornerbacks. They need to fix their safeties. Though Morgan Brunette is out, but that's besides the point. David makes an excellent point. I do not like the Packers defense. Let's go into pitiful Pittsburgh against Chicago.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Two of the most hated people on David's list.
Oh, let me tell you this. I really do not like Pittsburgh. I'm going to tell you this right now, guys. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, I don't care. You guys are the worst team in the NFL ever. Just kidding. Jacksonville takes your point. But
Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh doesn't really have any weapons on offense. Antonio Brown, and it's Antonio Brown and everybody else. No run game. Defense, I don't know what's happened to the defense. Pittsburgh's in a bit of a funk right now. No playoffs last year. It's looking like that this year as well. I don't know.
They have no offensive line, no running backs, and no other wide receiver.
They never had an offensive line, so.
Well, there you go. And in the division they play against, besides the Browns, I think, to be honest, I think that's the worst division right now in all of football.
I think Big Ben is on a decline.
Oh, I think they needed his replacement now. Yeah, you get Landry Jones, but no.
No, Big Ben is one of the winningest quarterbacks in the game right now.
Thanks to his defense that he's played with. You put him.
Okay, the Super Bowl, he had to go down the field. You look at the Super Bowl against the Cardinals.
Don't bring this up again. Do not do it.
Come on.
Arizona, freaking Kurt Warner. His Larry Fitzgerald 40, 50-yard game, something like that, against the Pittsburgh great defense. Ben Roethlisberger marches right back up the field, hits San Antonio for the game.
Like I said, there was a there was a touchdown that should have been negated. Then, if you take away that touchdown,
just coulda, woulda. I don't want to hear it. What happened. He wins Super Bowls. He wins football games.
So what? He wins Super Bowl. Eli Manning wins Super Bowl, but I don't want him on my team either. To be honest, none of those quarterbacks in that draft class I want on my team. I do not want Phillip Rivers. I do not want Eli Manning, and I do not want I don't want Ben Roethlisberger. I think
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Allegedly. Thank you for saying that. But regardless, I still think any of those quarterbacks, I do not like any of them at all. And Ben Roethlisberger, you know what? That's cool that you went back to school and go get your degree for, to help out the mentally handicapped, but that's about as good as you get. I'm sorry. I don't like you.
While we're talking about that, am I the only one that thinks that Terry Bradshaw got his high school diploma out of a cereal box?
Well, him and the Duck Dynasty dudes went to the same high school, so...
Terry Bradshaw is the most retarded person I've ever heard talk on football. I mean, he has no idea mostly what he's saying. He's had 25 concussions. And I mean, he's just, oh God, I hate Terry Bradshaw. Terry
Bradshaw has more hair than he does brain cells. That's what I think of him. Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger, same boat. Got a good defense, that's what got you to playoffs. End of story.
In order to win 4 Super Bowls and lead a team at quarterback, I think you got to be pretty smart.
The only reason why they listened to him because they thought he was a crazy meth head that would kill their whole family. That's the only reason why he was a leader.
Allegedly a meth head.
Okay, so
this podcast got real dark against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but we don't like them anyways. It don't matter. You win 6 Super Bowls, so what? Who cares? That's the past. It's all about now.
Pittsburgh hate comes with the territory when you win championships.
Okay, well, why did nobody hate the Packers? They win the most championships out of all teams.
Championship, NFL championships and Super Bowls aren't the same thing.
Yeah, they are.
They really
Best
don't.
teams.
They're saying you're the best team. Pittsburgh was there in the NFL championships. They did not win games. They've been there since day one.
You know what?
They've been there since day one, just like the Packers.
The Super Bowl is AFC versus NFC. That's the Super Bowl. It's both leagues combined. You know, the best of the best from one league playing the best of the best from another league. Those are not the same thing as the Super Bowls. They won 3 or 4 Super Bowls, I believe. Okay.
Well, let me just give you my general opinion about your conversation of how you're trying to defend the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, let's go to the next subject.
I mean, when you win, that's what happens. You get hated on.
Man, whatever. I'm whatever. I'm not even going to go into that conversation. I'm not. Well,
you can. Go into it. Let's go.
Why? About why I hate the Pittsburgh Steelers so much and how they're overrated? Yeah, so what? Their defense, you know damn well their defense got all their teams into the Super Bowl.
Are you kidding me? So Lynn Swann, Franco Harris, John Stallworth, you know, greats like all-time greats like Jerome Bettis, Hines Ward, those guys play no part to get them in the championship.
Hines Ward, don't even.
Oh my God, please, Hines Ward.
1,000 receptions, one of the greatest pass blocking receivers of all time, Jerome Bettis. How many players can you put on the bus? Come on now. Give respect to where respect
Please,
is due. Super Bowls, they've been doing it right for over 50, 60 years.
Please, Jerome Bettis, the only bus I see him in is the small bus, the little bus. That's what he looks like to me.
He's only going to have a bust in the Hall of Fame.
What the hell does that mean? There's a lot of overrated players that have a bust in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
The Hall of Fame is pretty rigged. All right. No, that's cool.
Wow.
Steelers overrated franchise. No, I'm believing myself on that one.
The only franchise to have 6 Super Bowls.
Okay. The only franchise that have 13 championships, the Packers. Let's count numbers of the past.
We're talking about Super Bowls, though.
Okay. We could championships and Super Bowls.
Stop bitching about a topic and just move on, because obviously the Packers and Pittsburgh Steelers have been around for a long time. We can both agree that they've won, but we can also I don't like either one of them. So, I mean,
because they win too much. Exactly why I hate the Patriots.
I hate the Steelers because I hate the fans.
Yep, they're fans.
Steeler fans.
If you're from Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, whatever that state is called, your
they
fan base.
Freaking Santa Claus. How the hell do you boo Santa Claus?
Well, that's Philadelphia, and the Steelers had nothing to do with that.
I think Eagles fans will do the same thing.
Yeah, the Eagles fan, they think they're going to win the Super Bowl every year. I mean, well, what fan doesn't think that, to be honest? I met
Ray. 80% of NFL fans are just a dumb. That's all I have to say about that.
You know we're talking to NFL fans, right?
I really don't care.
They're the 20% because they're listening to us.
Well, we hope you fans are the 20%, and I hope you guys like our Facebook page, because there is a contest you can win $50 in if you get the NFL picks correct this week. But we won't announce those picks until Friday. David, what would you spend $50 on?
What would I spend $50 on?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I'd probably buy Madden again, since I had to trade it in to get Grand Theft Auto, so I'd probably just buy Madden again.
If I had $50 and I was Terry Bradshaw, I'd buy myself a wig. That or my diploma again.
If I was Peyton Manning and had $50, I would get a face reduction surgery.
Forehead reduction. Man. Like I said, the biggest good topic to talk about, who would you rather get headbutted by, Peyton Manning or Chad Johnson?
Chad Johnson in the heartbeat.
Chad Johnson.
Y'all wouldn't take
talking about a concussion. You talk about a concussion. Oh, man.
Your brain would shatter if you got headbutted by freaking Peyton Manning.
Man, oh, man. How do you think... Speaking of getting concussed and getting out, not playing anymore, this is a weird transition. Mark Sanchez, is he ever going to touch the football field again?
Of course,
not an NFL field.
Oh, of course he will.
By who? DT, by who?
Maybe the Patriots. I believe the Patriots. I think the Patriots pick him up. No doubt.
They stooped that low. Why?
Sanchez is not that bad of a quarterback. I mean, people need to understand. Look at the offensive playmakers he had around him. Antonio.
He has the same amount as Geno Smith does.
Okay, and guess what? He went to back-to-back AFC championships his first 2 years in the league.
It's their defense. Let me get it correct. Their defense took them to there.
Yeah, but you have to score points in order to win those football games.
Their defense helped them score. Their defense made sure.
What's he supposed to do? What's the defense supposed to do? Just give up touchdowns?
That's what most defenses this league do. That's most defenses this league do.
Well, guess what? The Jets did do that.
And the Jets had a very good running game. Don't you remember that too?
You know what? Somebody had to score somebody had to throw touchdown passes in order to win those football games.
Terrible quarterback.
They played the Colts one year, I believe. They won on the arm of Mark Sanchez towards the end of the game.
Please don't get me started. Don't get me started. They won off the arm of Mark Sanchez.
That's one of your USC boys, bro. I'm surprised you're not.
Please, I never even liked him at USC. Are you kidding me? He needs to go back to his daddy's fireplace and go save fires over there in Southern California. All the fires we get with the national.
John David Booty and Mark Sanchez.
John David Booty.
John David Booty. JDB.
I like John David Booty because his last name is Booty. That's why. Mark Sanchez, goodbye. I'm not like you.
Matt Barkley and Mark Sanchez.
Easy, Matt Barkley, because they're both the same quarterback, to be honest.
Exactly the same. I was going to say the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Darius, for being the below-average fan today.
You know what? Mark Sanchez took 2 teams to the AFC Championship game.
I'm sorry, Mark Sanchez. Not even me. The owner of the Jaguars will sign you.
I think he does. I mean, why not?
You know what? That is. You know what? What's a bit? Okay, let's go. Chad Henne and whatever Blaine Gabbert, whatever his name is, are they the 2 worst quarterbacks in the NFL right now?
They definitely aren't. They have no weapons on offense. Defense is terrible.
Oh my God, you and weapons. You and weapons.
Yeah, you gotta have weapons if you want to win today. I mean,
okay, look at Tom Brady. Like you.
Look at all the teams. It's Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. You just
oh
proved
my
my
God.
point.
I'm not trying to help you prove your point. I'm just saying he ain't got no weapons, but he's all right.
Well, hey, it's Tom Brady. He's like the Mount Rush. He's one of the Mount
Oh God, it's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady. That don't suffice for nothing. But saying his name is Tom Brady, repeating his name doesn't help the cause. Just helps me know what the fuck his name is.
Yes, Sergeant.
The receiver. Okay, Pillsbury. Look, the receivers he has. You know, Tom Brady's receiving core isn't all that bad.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's not all that bad. It's terrible. It's horrendous.
Campbell Tompkins had a touchdown like 3 straight weeks, I believe. I don't know.
3 straight weeks? No, he didn't.
These guys are 2. Well, he had one week 1. He had one.
He's only scored. This is his first time he's ever scored.
Tom Brady. Point is, Tom Brady's receivers are scoring touchdowns. Running game. They have a running game. Defense.
We're not talking about Tom Brady. We're talking about the Jaguars being the 2 terrible quarterbacks. I could care less about Tom Brady.
I mean, you told me to prove a point. You got to have playmakers in order to win in this league. Every team that's winning right now, they all have playmakers.
So, but okay, now to go against you, you say the Tennessee Titans have no playmakers, but they win games.
I'm talking about the 3-0 teams.
They're 2-1. The Chiefs are never mind. The Chiefs do have playmakers. They got Jamal Charles now, and their defense is mean.
Yeah, Jamal Charles, Dwayne Bowe, they have a playmaker at quarterback, I believe.
Oh, Dwayne Bowe is overrated.
He makes plays.
Well, regardless, Dwayne Bowe is better than anybody who plays for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But let's be honest now. Blaine Gabbert, Chad Henne, the 2 worst quarterbacks. Huh?
They're not worse. You put Chad Henne on the Patriots.
Then who's the worst? Who's the worst quarterback? Who's the worst quarterback right now in the NFL that's starting? The worst quarterback right now out of all 32 teams. Who's the worst one?
I'm gonna go with Blaine Gabbert easily, but
Chad okay. See, there you go. You just answered my question. Out of all 32 teams, who's the worst quarterback?
You said it's Chad Henne and Blaine Gabbert the worst. You put Chad Henne in the same sentence. No.
Okay, then who's okay? He's starting actually. Blaine Gabbert doesn't start.
Blaine Gabbert is starting this week.
Okay, well, you know what? Chad Henne started last week. Who is the worst quarterback out of all 32 quarterbacks right now in the NFL, including both of them? Including both of them.
Blaine Gabbert is the absolute worst.
Then why are you trying to prove his point that he's actually that good?
I didn't say he was good.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did. You were just now you're just going against your own word. You were arguing to me that he ain't got enough weapons. That's why he ain't good.
Okay. You look at any quarterback that's supposedly doing terrible. You put them on a team with the most weapons, they're going to have
That's like stating the obvious. That's like seeing me. That's like me getting That's like me getting Doug Flutie or somebody who's been like that's me getting Jamarcus Russell and putting him on a team with nothing but great weapons all around him and saying, "Oh, there's no way he can do terrible." No, duh, that's gonna happen. You get a good offensive line, you get good weapons, you get a good running back. What do you expect? You expect nothing but good, right? How can you mess that up? Oh wait, never mind. You can't mess it up. It's called Christian Ponder.
Christian Ponder is not the worst quarterback in the league.
Well, there you go. You're just still answering our question. We asked you who's the worst, and you said they're not the worst. Then I said,
I don't see a quarterback that I wouldn't take. I don't see a quarterback in the NFL that I just absolutely.
Are you kidding?
No, you just can't be on my team. No, not one. I don't see not one.
I could name half.
Name some. Matchup. I take matchup. I take matchup.
I'll take matchup.
Decent quarterback, but he's going to take you to a Super Bowl.
I take matchup. Any Buffalo Bill quarterback, any Jets quarterback, any Jaguars quarterback, any Browns quarterback, any Vikings quarterback, any Lions quarterback that isn't Matthew Stafford. I mean, what do you want?
The most terrible quarterback all depends on what weapons you have, your offensive line, your defense, all the other stuff, coaching. If you look at all that,
you're just stating the obvious yet again. You keep saying this over and over again. They ain't got good weapons. They got to be good. Then, like I said, that goes back to my point. Christian Ponder has to be the worst quarterback ever. Then, according to you.
Worst quarterback ever.
Well, then, who is the worst quarterback ever? If you're saying he got the weapons,
I just told you to tell me how Christian Ponder is the worst quarterback in the league.
He has the weapons, don't he?
No.
He don't got weapons. He don't got weapons. All right. He don't.
Greg Jennings.
He doesn't have Greg Jennings.
He didn't resign Greg Jennings. Greg Jennings is not Greg Jennings anymore. Greg Jennings is always hurt. He's an old man that's always hurt, just collecting money before he retires.
Okay, so
Greg Jennings scored this year.
What?
You got Jerome Simpson, a deep threat. That's about all he is. You got Adrian Peterson. We know who Adrian Peterson is.
Got Kyle Rudolph. You got a reliable tight end.
As slow as molasses. You double.
But yet he goes to the Pro Bowl. But yet he gets touchdowns.
Pro Bowl. Oh my God, he just said the Pro Bowl.
Hey, look, listen. I'm just telling you what the.
I seen players play 5 games to go to the Pro Bowl. Come on now.
Like I said, I'm answering your question. You give him all right weapons. You give him the best running back. You give him these all right receivers, above average receivers. Let's be honest. And
Simpson is average. He's a deep threat. That's it.
That's above average receiving core. Above average.
He has no arsenal moves, anything. Kyle Rudolph overrated. Slow as Methuselah. I mean, hey. I think he's very overrated. Kyle Rudolph.
No.
Yes, he's very overrated.
Because he's white.
Allegedly. I'm just throwing that out there. Darius is not racist, allegedly.
EJ Manuel, gosh. I wouldn't want him on my team either.
I wouldn't want him or Geno Smith. Or, like I said, I don't want no Bills quarterback, no Jaguars quarterback, no Browns quarterback, no Jets quarterback. Nothing. Nothing to do with any of them.
Come on. You don't want your boy Brian Hoyer?
Listen, you know what? Let me ponder about that real quick. No. I want Jordan Cameron though.
Who would you rather have? Brian Hoyer or Blaine Gabbert?
Brian Hoyer.
Why?
Because at least with what weapons, according to Darius says, with what he has there, he has at least done something. Blaine Gabbert.
He threw 3 interceptions. He's done nothing so far. He's thrown 3 interceptions. The only reason they won that game was because of the defense stepped up.
Defense stepping up. They gave up 27 points. That's called stepping up.
Stepping up.
Stepping up.
3 interceptions. When your quarterback throws 3 interceptions, oh yeah, that's stepping up. They should have lost 40.
You know what? At least he knows how to throw a pass. I've yet to see Blaine Gabbert know how to sense pressure since his rookie year.
Blaine Gabbert has no offensive line.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he has a decent offensive line.
Decent.
They're average. They're like below average. That's a below average offensive line.
Okay, Peyton Manning had a below average offensive line. He still did pretty well in Indy, didn't he?
Peyton Manning is Peyton Manning.
Like I said, Darius, do not repeat a name. All you're doing is helping us pronounce his name. That's all it does. Repeating names should help.
You don't have much of a point.
I don't have much of a point. I know.
Okay, end of this conversation. Blaine Gabber's the worst quarterback. I need to get him off my Jaguars
I
team.
thought Christian Ponder was the worst quarterback.
Same with him, too. They're all nothing but garbage. If you're from the great state of Florida, you're garbage. End of discussion.
Okay. So that means Teddy Bridgewater's going to be garbage. All right, so we got that out the way for a future conversation.
Yeah, because I have Derek Carr. I like him.
Oh, okay.
Derek Carr, come back to Houston. We need the second coming of Carr. That's what we need. That's what Houston really needs.
Hey, at least David Carr jerseys would be able to be sold again because they probably wear his brother's number.
They come back from the old dusty box.
But that's if Matt Shaw that's if Kubiak decides to bring somebody else in.
They should, because Matt Shaw was terrible.
But that's not going to happen because Kubiak isn't done living out his dream of being
being
Matt
an
Shaw.
average quarterback. Becoming an average quarterback.
Matt Shaw, what a joke.
Well, I'm glad you guys listened into this wonderful podcast. You guys learned a lot, didn't you? I mean, y'all learned that I love Pittsburgh. I love Philadelphia. I don't even like Philly cheesesteaks. Just kidding.
What?
Just kidding. I actually
Okay,
like that. That's the only thing they actually know how to do right up there. Other than that, I have no further comments about today's discussions.
Hey, y'all learned that I have a bedtime, too.
Yeah, 1 o'clock a.m.
Yeah.
Woo. Darius, you got anything else? You got what is a good woman? You said Scarlett Johansson in one of our podcasts. What is another fine woman?
If you don't see Don John, you're crazy. Just see it just for Scarlett Johansson.
So, DT, who is the woman of the night then?
I have to go with Bella Anderson.
Oh, good choice. I like that.
Yeah, buddy.
She's a great actress.
Wonderful actress. Wonderful.
She makes some great work that nobody's ever heard of, I swear.
Very underrated actress. She does a lot of private films, but, they're very small, like, international water kind of films.
Okay, all right.
She's very good, like, the way she speaks. Sometimes the way she talks and uses her words.
I like how she speaks Spanish. I like that Spanish accent of hers.
Yeah. A young Eva Mendes just went, a different direction. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Well, that's our...
Bad parent.
To say the least, but I'm G, and I'm the owner of the Jaguars.
I just said I'm DT.
Well, it don't matter anymore.
Man, it's time for me to go to bed.
Whoa! Join us tomorrow when we talk about the team of the week and the team of the week, which is probably the Steelers. Well, okay, go with the Raiders too, but at least they put up 21 points, Giants.
Raiders suck again.
It's all garbage time.
Let's get out of here.